One of the riders was stopped by the police in plain clothes, and he stopped him in a pedestrian crossing, in the middle of the pedestrian crossing, asking him for ID and some questions. The the rider pointing out that he cannot stop in that pedestrian crossing because it's illegal to stop there, but the police uh, didn't listen to him and just stopped him and ask for the ID and take the bike to the police station. And in the report, the police write down that the rider was crossing the pedestrian crossing driving furiously, which is a nonsense. So in that way, we feel persecuted by the police and also discriminated by the police, and as as a Rickshaw riders, as managers, whatever, we have the rights to work and make our livings. And the police now put all the industry in a corner, and it's really difficult to survive. And what can people do? Ask for benefits. We are working. It's difficult to work, but we are trying all every day to work and make our livings. But with that policy, it's really difficult, and the industry, I think, goes down slowly. So that is something that we need to change.
Why do you think they are doing this?
I think the the cabs, doing push the politicians maybe to change the laws and to put us in a corner. We are a small industry. We are bicycles basically. We the drivers are most of them are students, European students. At the moment, we try to complain with everything to be legal. Our bikes are in well maintained. They got lights. We got insurance. We got everything to be legal. We do the training to the riders, but you know, the cabs made lobby to the politicians, and now they change and they try to get down the business from us.
Yeah, many police on the streets, they say that the bikes are illegal, you know, and that's the reason they are stopping the riders. So what do you say to that?
Actually, the business is not illegal. The proof of that is that we are working. They try to manage the business by policy, but it's different. They try to do something that in some ways are illegal. Try to scare people, try to abuse the power, police power, and in that way, I think that is illegal because they discriminate against a minority group, or and against a business. It's an example that they take some bikes and they say that the bike or the rider broke the law, but at the same time, cars and another type of user, the traffic users, do exactly the same and they don't say nothing. So the law has been for everyone, and now they only apply the law to the bicycles. I think this is total discrimination against us. I understand the police duty is to maintain the order and maintain the law, and maybe some riders broke the law, they have to be punished, but no make an scapegoat of all the industry and all the riders, and sometimes made up the allegations and take the bikes illegally.
I have one rider said he overheard the police saying that Boris Johnson wants the rickshaws off the streets before the Olympics, because he's afraid that they'll be blocking the roads, for the very important people. What do you say to that reason for this police action? You know, that's why the police feel good about this at the moment, because they feel like they are being told it's to clean up London's image.
I think that I think it's not right, because with really good advice, and if if we manage the business in a really good way, can be even a solution. On the Olympic signs, maybe it will be really difficult to find another form of transport. We are small, we go from short distance really quick. Maybe we are part of the solution and not part of the problem, but they need to think in another way. They now criminalize our work, they criminalize us, they try to persecute us illegally, and they try to clean up the streets, but we are part of the solution. We are really attracted to the tourists, we are really attracted to the diversity of London diversity, we are really clean, we don't pollute, and that is something that I think is important. If they can see the other side of the business, can be really bright and attract and make London more attractive for the visitors. So I think the problem is more how they perceive the business and how we can regulate the business together.
They're saying that what you hear on the radio, on the TV, and the newspapers often is that they say that the rickshaws are dangerous, and yet I've looked for some information on how many people have died in a rickshaw in London, and I can't find any. So it seems to me that they're safer than cars, buses, or trains or planes. What would you say to people who say that rickshaws are dangerous?
Yeah, you gave the answer, and it really is a fact. Really, we can't see any problem with the rickshaw, with the safety of the rickshaws. There have been no accidents at all, no major accidents, only minor accidents. The truth is the rickshaws. Normally, the speed of the rickshaws is like 10 miles per hour or less. So at that speed, is not really dangerous in any way. I think the cars, the buses, they are capable to do, minor damage in an accident, and the rickshaws really they are safe. That is why the statistics say is no accident at the moment for the rickshaws. Apart of that, the industry gave training to them, so they are aware of the possible dangers, and they avoid that. And until now, we are successful in this field. So I don't think so. This is true.
How do you think the police and the Westminster Council or Transport for London could now help you? Because, of course, I'm sure that in order for the business to survive, you want to help and help them as much as possible to do their job. So what would you suggest to them? Have you had any ideas?
I think we got an association, the LPOA. I think if we work together and we regulate the business together, and we put our effort to do this business in the really right way, they don't have any problem with the business for sure. And I think this is the way to do this business. They help us to do a nice regulation, and the business can survive and be attractive for London, be positive for London, and add to the diversity of London, to attract more people, tourists, people who visit London, and they know that this business is really well organized, has a scheme to be a positive side of London.
I've seen, I spoke to a few riders, and they've said that they've been stopped on single yellow lines, double yellow lines, and arrested for that. They've been arrested for staying in loading bays. Is there anywhere that rickshaws can stop at all?
I think the police now make impossible to work, and this is the major problem in this at the moment. It's okay if they regulate the business and they give us any way to attend and to do the business in central London and provide the service we provide to the people, just short rides, short distance. People wants to know London through a bike. It's another form of knowing London, really innovative. For many people it's really attractive, and they know that in that way we are really green. We are no make any pollution, and we are an alternative. But that is why the regulation is needed actually in the business, and we are in a really good disposition to work with the government to do that regulations.
So you're in a position to work with them, but are they in a position to work with you? Is the question.
I hope yes. I hope they want to work with us. I think if they look in the middle term and long term, this industry will be really positive for London. In all the major cities has at the moment a really well organized Rickshaw business, like for instance New York, Amsterdam, Berlin, all the major cities is an alternative for short distance transport for tourists and for people who are in the West End, having a really good time.
Okay, thank you.